If you want to take your rolled hems up a notch and add a little bling, may I recommend some Razzle Dazzle Thread by Ricky Timms. That's from Superior Threads. And on the spool it says for bobbin work, couching, and serger. Yay! So on the Pfaff Admire Air 5000, I've added the decorative thread to the upper looper. So I've got kind of a fun turquoise thread on here. Now, whenever we work with decorative threads, the serger doesn't know that you've changed the thickness. So you do always need to take your tension and lower it, loosen it. Let that thread have a little breathing room in here. And then we can also counterbalance it with some tighter lower looper tension increase. So we have done a video on how to get your machine set up for decorative thread, tying it on and pulling it through. So you can link right up here in this little top corner where the eye is for doing just that. I've gone ahead and put in, or I should say taken out, the left needle. We are using the right needle. Setting up for rolled hem means pulling the little stitch finger towards us, moving it from normal to tight, and then the stitch length you might adjust based on how thick your decorative thread is, because if it's too close together, it'll just pile up. Now, usually you don't want to do this on too light of a fabric. It almost looks very heavy, but that could be the look that you're after. This is something that you can use on a slightly heavier fabric. Again, you're going to have to do a couple rows of stitching. I did one and I knew it could be better, so I did a little adjustment to make it roll as nice. And one of the adjustments I actually did was the knife. So when I stitched along one edge, it didn't really feel like the fabric rolled. It was just kind of sticking out and the decorative thread was kind of just going over the edge. So by actually moving the knife a little further away from the needle, there was actually enough fabric for that thread to actually curl that fabric a little bit, giving it something to pull around and almost round out that edge instead of just kind of going around the raw edge of the fabric. So those are things that you might want to consider trying out. Now, of course, decorative thread can be done on a lot of fun things with the flat lock, with a wide 3 thread. This is one we were playing with here. You can add such a nice bling to the edge, but not just this thread. I mean, anything like a woolly nylon, a pearl cotton, pearl crown rayon, just try out lots of different things. So when you do stitch, here's one thing. I mean, again, you're going to test it out for the fabric you're working on. Then I usually use scissors. I don't run it around. I do want to not waste thread on this, but look how pretty that edge is. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice pulled around as much as it possibly can. So you see the sparkle on the back, and then that lower looper kind of tucks way back in here. Again, if you kind of match that, it actually does. I've got the lime green thread in there, so it's kind of matching up with the fabric as I use it. Didn't really plan for that. And I didn't really plan that the needle thread would have the blue in it. See the blue in the background? That's kind of hiding nicely in the edge of the decorative thread. So you just have to play around, but you can get a nice pretty edge. Again, lengthen your stitch length so it's not too thick. You could even make that a little bit more open as you want. And again, this could be used on something even a little heavier fabric, not so lightweight. So play around, see what kind of fun decorative threads you can put your hands on. And then also check out the Bluprint classes we recommend in the description below. There is a nice collection of serger project classes that can give you some wonderful ideas of ways you can actually use these practical and decorative stitches on future projects.